Okay, so it is 8 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, we'll have some people stopping in as things progress. So, hello and welcome to Overcome Goal Blocking Barriers. This is going to be a fun and interactive workshop where we're going to learn how to beat indecision, preempt procrastination, and crush those limiting beliefs. Okay, so, um, just so you know what we're going to cover tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about me so you know who I am and, just a little bit about me. Then we're going to talk about my story. So, what got me here? What was it that really brought us to this moment tonight? I'm going to tell you who this workshop is for. And I'm going to tell you what you can expect to learn this evening. So let's go ahead and dig right in. So about me, I've always been really interested in human behavior. It's just been really fascinating. It kind of, I wonder, well, why did he do that or why did she do that? And it just really led to a passion. And I ended up with a bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm not a clinical psychologist, but I really do have an interest in behavior. I also really love to help people, and I really enjoy sharing the things that I know. So that led me to become a certified master life coach. And in that regard, I have extra training beyond the regular master life coach plan in goal success, and cognitive behavioral techniques, which is a lot of what this program is based on. So, this is really being able to identify your thoughts and reframe them so that you can change the thoughts in your mind. But we'll talk more about that as we move on. And I really love learning new things. Okay. I am what you may call a serial achiever. What does that mean? Oh, let me tell you. Okay, so here's my story. From a very young age, I've always been very interested in learning new things. It started off with sewing, with crochet, with other crafts. I enjoy drawing and painting, but I've always found that I would find a new passion or a new skill, or I would want to learn something or become something new. I also developed a passion for cooking and baking. I took quite a few classes on cake decorating. So, if you know, all of my friends come to me for their kids' birthday cakes. Um, I decided kind of on a whim in my early 20s that I wanted to be a veterinary technician. And so I decided to go out. I learned about being a veterinary technician. I got a job, and I actually, at that time, developed a process that I still use to this day or have used to get jobs. I've used this over and over again. I've helped my husband through it. I've had multiple interstate moves, and a lot goes into being able to put that plan. When my husband and I decided it was time to start a family, we were all excited like everyone else, but we quickly ran into some challenges with infertility, and I found a way to make a plan to overcome that. Then, more recently, I put together a conference for women in business. And the most recent achievement is what you're here tonight to learn about, and that is your intentional future. And again, this goes all the way back to everything I've talked about, my passion for understanding human behavior, being able to unlock the secrets of our brain and reframe those negative thoughts and just achieve our goals. All right. So we're here tonight um, for this workshop. This workshop is going to be for you if you've ever had a hard time deciding what you want. It's also going to be something for you if you've ever given up on a goal of yours because you didn't think that you could achieve it. It's this or any other limiting belief that you may have. This workshop is for you if you've ever struggled to stay on track, get overwhelmed, and then ultimately end up procrastinating and give up, right? If any of these things is you, then this workshop is really where you want to be tonight. Um, in this workshop, we're going to get you started on your way to goal success. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to outline the 4 steps to goal success. We're going to identify a common barrier to each step. Okay, so each step in the goal success process has multiple barriers, multiple things that can come up. But tonight we're going to talk about one of the most common barriers at each step. There's no way I can go through everything tonight. So I promise to give you everything that I can and then make sure that you know how to get in touch with me later to take it to the next step. We are also going to provide you with a few simple, repeatable tools that are going to have you crushing barriers and winning big right away. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started tonight. So, the four steps to goal success. The first one is deciding what you want. The second one is or I'm sorry. And the barrier that we most commonly run into with this one is indecision. It can be very difficult to decide what you want. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that happens later and get you started on your way to overcoming that. The second step to goal success is to believe, truly believe that you can achieve that. Okay. And the barrier that we run into a lot here are those limiting beliefs, self doubt, imposter syndrome, fear of success, fear of failure, all of these things that our brain says you can't do. But guess what? Your brain's lying to you. The third step is to plan for success. You need to make sure that you don't just have a goal, you have a plan for how you're going to achieve it. And the barrier that we run into most here is not having that clear plan. It's wonderful to have a goal and to write it down, but if you don't take the time and create that plan, you don't have a roadmap to actually achieve your goals. And then the fourth step is to stay motivated. This is really a lot easier in the beginning when things are new and exciting. But as things start to get more difficult, it can be very, very hard to stay motivated. And that's when we run into this big barrier here, and that's procrastination. So, tonight we're going to give you a quick tip on how to prevent procrastination before it even starts. All right, so let's dig into this a little bit deeper. As I said, the first step to goal success is deciding what you want. And this seems like it's a quite simple thing. It should be, right? But not every decision in our life is as simple as deciding between the yellow shirt and the striped shirt. Okay. So what do we do? Well, here's a few tips for when it comes to deciding what you want. First of all, get other people out of your head. Um, in life, in society, we have other people saying, you should be this, you should do this. Get them out of your mind. Okay, when it comes to your goals, these are yours. What other people think, what other people want are completely irrelevant here, unless, of course, we're talking about your family or people that are directly impacted by your goals. So get those people out of your mind. Remember, this is about you. The next tip I have here is actually write those goals down. Take the time and write those goals out. If they're just in your mind, they're still a little hypothetical. They're kind of out there, they're in the ether. When you write them down, they become concrete, they become an actual thing that you can see and look at, and it makes it more real, more tangible. The next tip is ask yourself this bigger question, and that is why? Why do I want to achieve this goal? When things get hard down the road, knowing why you want that goal is really going to help achieve and get over that hump of difficulty when you really have to push through. Okay. So I want to do an activity with you. If you're watching live, this is where you're going to want some pen and some paper. If you're here for the replay, you'll also want pen and paper. But you may want to anyway, we'll just keep moving. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to create our bucket list. We're probably pretty all familiar with the concept of the bucket list. This is those things you want to do before you die. There was actually a pretty funny and famous movie about the bucket list. So what I want you to do is I want you to take tonight, 60 to 90 seconds, to just brainstorm and write out those things that you want to do, achieve, learn, or become in your lifetime before your death. Make sure that you're considering all of the areas of your life, both your physical and mental health, your career, love, spirituality, your family. What about money or fun or even friends? And then don't forget all of those things that you want to see, do, learn. Maybe you want to travel. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to go with? What skills do you want to learn? Are there any new hobbies you'd like to pick up? Any accomplishments? Your imagination is really your only limit. So, hopefully, as I've been talking here, you've been jotting down a few things on your bucket list. If not, if you're here on the replay, take a moment to pause and continue working. If you're here live, I invite you to set this aside for a moment, and but please do come back to it. I think this is a really wonderful exercise. Keep this list handy though, because you're going to want to use it as a guide when you start to create your goals, when we move into the next steps. Okay. So the number one barrier that we run into in this first step when it comes to deciding what you want is indecision. Indecision actually can take on three different types. The first one is when you run into an autopilot situation. And this is, you'll recognize this if you live a life that is largely the same every single day. Nothing new happens, nothing really changes. You don't really have to make any major decisions outside of what to make for dinner. And don't get me wrong, that can be a very challenging decision. But when you're in this autopilot, you're not really making decisions, right? You're just reacting to life. Um, pardon me. The next type of indecision is being stuck. Okay, this is similar to autopilot in that your life is the same day in and day out, but here you're not you're not happy with it. Okay, you want to. I got a message here that. Okay, hopefully. I'm sorry about the technological issues here. I just want to make sure that I have a functioning microphone. Okay. It looks like we're connected. All right. I apologize for the interruption. The third type of indecision is when we face those irrevocable choices. These are your major life decisions. In most cases, they are truly irrevocable. For example, if you decide that you want to move on to a new job or a new career, deciding to leave the job that you currently have, that's an irrevocable choice. If you choose to leave, in most cases, you can't go back. So these are those decisions that really alter the course of your life and that are really painful and really difficult to reverse, sometimes even impossible. Okay. So, what causes indecision? Indecision is caused really by a few things. It's caused by when you don't know what you want. It can be caused by perfectionism. All right. How many times have you not done something because it just had to be perfect? This is a common story when it comes to uh, fertility and women, myself included. You know, we want the situation to be perfect. We want the right husband, the house, the job, the everything. And then all of a sudden you wake up 41 years old and find out that, well, big surprise, you need fertility treatments. You need $40,000 worth of IVF. So making sure that done well is better than done perfect can help you kind of get over that hump of indecision. Another thing that causes indecision is this duality dilemma. It's, should I stay or should I go? This is where the decision is clear. I have to decide between A and B. And and so it's not maybe life altering, but sometimes it can be really hard to choose in when it's a dual choice, yes or no, stay or go. And then there's also uncertainty. So if you're not truly sure of what you want and you don't know why you want it, it can lead to uncertainty, and uncertainty can lead to long-term indecision. All right, so how do we beat it? All right. First of all, we're honest with ourselves about the decision in front of us. We're honest about what the choice will mean if we go one direction and what it will mean if the other. And then we accept the decision that we make and we let the other opportunity go. We don't allow ourselves to have regrets. We choose and we empower ourselves to move forward. The other thing that we can do is we can remove choices when possible. Okay, so I mentioned the difficulty of deciding what to make for dinner. I'm not kidding. That can be very difficult sometimes for people to figure out. So, what if you took the time and made a meal plan for the week? And you on Sunday, you sat down and said, okay, each day of the week, I'm going to make this. So now when it comes time to make dinner, there's no decision to be made because you removed it earlier in the week. Okay. So, the next step is believing that you can achieve your goals. This can be a little bit tricky sometimes, especially because, like I said, we've got other people in our head. Society has told us to be this, that you should be this, you should not be this, you should do this, you should not do that. So, first of all, we need to know and learn how to change. And it's not always easy to do. Sometimes, as humans, we're not likely to change until the situation we're in is so painful that the pain of change is less than the pain of what we're experiencing. So, if you can learn to embrace change before it becomes so painful that you have to change, it can really help you feel empowered and believe that you can succeed. Have faith in yourself. Know that you can do it. You have achieved. Every person in this world has made achievements heretofore in their life. You can make more. Have faith, have confidence in yourself. Uh, know that it's going to be okay. Um, it's not gonna be the end of the world if your idea doesn't fail, if you don't succeed at your goal. Regardless, if you put one foot in front of the other every single day and you keep working your goal plan, you will achieve success. It's just that simple. If you can't work at something every day and stick to a plan and not achieve, that's just not how it works. And the last idea here, when it comes to believing that you can achieve it, is to practice affirmations. And these are simple, positive statements like, I can make decisions that are good for my future. I believe that I can make a plan and achieve success. In the intentional futurism do it yourself starter kit, there is one affirmation for every single day. So if you don't already have that, I do encourage you to download it. It is completely free and there's all kinds of other amazing tools in there. But anyway, to move on, one of the big barriers that we run into here with believing in yourself is self-doubt and imposter syndrome, okay? I think that just about everyone I know has experienced one of these two limiting beliefs at one time or another. So I want you to know and understand that it is very common. If this is something you experience, you are not alone. These are very, very common thoughts. Sometimes the This comes from lies others have told us. Like I said, we can have people in our life that maybe aren't necessarily good influences on us, that maybe have not always been positive, have said negative things to us, that have told us lies about us that we have come to believe. Sometimes those thoughts come from our own lies, the lies that we can tell ourselves. But I'm going to tell you, here's the good news. You can learn how to change those thoughts and how to turn them around. And guess what? We're going to do that right now. So I have a little activity here. This is called uncovering the lies. I'm going to walk you through how to do this activity. But I do recommend that you actually take some time later this evening or pause the video now if you're watching the replay and actually work through this. So here's how this works. You're going to need some paper. You'll want a pencil and you'll want a pen. Okay. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and you're going to write down a lie that you tell yourself. So in my case, sometimes I tell myself, I'll never succeed as an entrepreneur. So I'm going to write that down in pencil. Okay. I'm going to give myself some space. And then using a pen, I'm going to rewrite that lie and turn it into a positive statement. So, for example, with I'll never succeed as an entrepreneur, I may rewrite that to say, I have already succeeded as an entrepreneur. Okay. The next step is in between those lines. This is why we left a little bit of space. We're going to write, wait, that's not true. Okay. So every day for the next 7 days, we're going to read these statements out loud. All of it, the middle section and everything. So it's going to look like this. I'll never succeed as an entrepreneur. Wait, that's not true. I have already succeeded as an entrepreneur. And you take your 5 or 6 statements, and after you work your way through this activity, you're going to repeat these every single day for a week. I challenge you, this is something that you can do really quickly to start reframing the negative thoughts in your mind. And then on the 8th day, you're going to erase that lie. And you're going to keep that paper handy and you're going to read those positive statements to yourself whenever you think about it, whenever you're feeling down on yourself. You're going to have a list of positive statements that you have rewired your brain to believe. Okay. So now, when it comes to step 3, creating a plan for success, this is an area where almost everybody falls down. We create a goal. Sometimes we even make it smart. If you're familiar with the idea of the SMART goals, um, but we don't actually make a plan for how we're going to do it. This would be a lot like saying, I'm going to drive across the country without a map, without a plan, without knowing where I'm going to get gas or food or where I'm going to spend the night. I'm not saying you can't do that. Sometimes you can absolutely get across the country or you can get where you're going without writing down a plan. But if you take and you write down your step-by-step plan on how you're going to achieve your goals, you now have a roadmap. And then when you hit construction and you have to take a detour, it's okay because you still know where you're going. You still know what the next milestone is, what the next checkpoint is. Okay. So as I mentioned, the barrier here to step 3 is not having that clear plan. If you don't have a clear plan, how are you going to succeed? Okay, so my recommendation, I have two recommendations here. The first one is get and use a planner, right? As I mentioned, there's the intentional futurism do-it-yourself starter kit. There's a planner in there, completely free. You just need to get it and download it, and you can type on that. You can print it if you like. I also like now, if you're the kind of person that likes to actually physically hold a planner in your hands, I recommend this. And you can see the picture there on the screen. This is the Rocketbook Panda Planner. If you're not familiar with Rocketbook, and this is not a paid sponsorship. In fact, they don't. I'm not big enough for them to sponsor quite yet. If you can kind of see, there's built-in planner pages here. But what's really great about this particular planner is you can write on it using Pilot friction pens, just regular old everyday, $2 to $3 pen. Again, Pilot isn't sponsoring me. And then you could just wipe it off with the damp cloth and reuse this planner over and over and over again. The reason why I like the Panda planner is because the gentleman that created that system, his system aligns very nicely with the system that I use in your intentional future. So it gives you, with some slight modification, a way to actually work our system in this permanent planner. You can also look for a traditional paper Panda planner. Again, the system is the same, or really any planner that works for you, right? The key is to just do it. Then the next suggestion is to look at some online productivity software. The first one, the one I really like, is called Jira. This one's made by Atlassian. It is a completely free productivity software. If you are working on just regular general life achievement goals, this is not the product for you. Jira is for you if one of the goals you have is to build or scale a business. The reason I say that is because this particular software is completely free for a single user, but it does grow and scale into paid versions. It was originally designed for software developers, so it works really great for people who are looking to create a business. If you ever think you are going to hire employees and you want to be able to track and manage their work, it's a good way to assign projects to other people, track feedback, and get information back. If you're not looking to build a business, but you're looking for something a little more personal, or even if you are working toward a business, there are products like Asana. There's Trello has a free product. There's Todoist, and there's so many different productivity apps out there. Again, the key here is finding one that works for you and using it. Um, a system is really, really helpful, and understanding what you have there. And I have a system I can teach you when it comes to a clear plan. Clearly, I can't do that tonight, but I promise I'll let you know how we can work together further if that's something you're interested in. Okay, so the last step to goal success is staying motivated. And this can be tricky when things get hard. It's easy in the beginning when you're excited and you're knocking things off and the goals are easy. All right, I'm having this issue with the mic again. Okay, hopefully that works. It paused itself. All right, I apologize. So, staying motivated can get really tricky when things get difficult. So, how are we going to get over that hump? All right. So let's talk about the virtuous cycle. This idea comes from the motivation myth, how high achievers really set themselves up to win by Jeff Hayden. All right. So bear with me here. In the beginning, you're excited. So you come in here motivated to succeed. You start to see small successes. The small successes cause more motivation, which leads to more success and more motivation and more success. Eventually, after circling your way through this cycle of being motivated and having success and motivating and having success, you become what you set out to achieve. So maybe your goal is to learn how to speak a new language. All right, so you're motivated because you've scheduled a trip to Paris and you want to learn how to speak French. So you're all excited in the beginning. All right, so you sign up for something like maybe a Babbel app or you get Rosetta Stone and you actually start to speak and you have a little bit of success. And that makes you want to have more success, which motivates you to keep working. All right, so I go into a lot more in depth in my program about how to achieve this and what this means to become. But essentially, if you worked on something for 15 minutes a day for 5 years, a new skill, a new hobby, if you worked on creating a new friendship, repairing a relationship, imagine how good you would be at it. And so then look at your life and count up about how many 5-year periods you have left. The way you would do this is you'd take 78. That's the average life expectancy in the United States. Subtract your age, whatever you come up with, divide it by 5. Okay, that's how many things you can still become in your life. So even, give or take, assuming, you live a roughly average life, of course, nothing's guaranteed. Most of us have anywhere from 1 to 5, 6, 7 things that we can still become in our life. Okay, barrier 4. This is the one that I have a hunch brought most of us here tonight, and that's procrastination. All right, show of hands, myself included. How many people struggle with procrastination? I do. It's actually one of the things that set me out on the journey to create this program. I still struggle with procrastination. But I want to say, although it's certainly problematic, procrastination is actually a symptom of a larger problem. It's not the problem itself. So, what do I mean by that? What are some of the problems that can lead to procrastination? Fear of failure or success. Interestingly enough, we're all familiar with what failure feels like. We're not all familiar with what success feels like. And it's natural to feel apprehensive about something that you've never experienced before. So, in some regards, the fear of success is just as prevalent as the fear of failure. Um, Self doubt, the lies that we tell ourselves: I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't do this. Um, these are the kinds of things that lead us to procrastinate. If you don't think you can do it, you just don't start because then you find out that you can't do it and you're a failure. So it becomes this vicious cycle that leads to procrastination. Anxiety. When you have stress about something, it can be easy to go find something that's less stressful to do as opposed to focusing on the actual problem at hand. Then we've got perfectionism again. Nasty perfectionism. Remember that came up back when we were talking about indecision. Um, Nothing's ever perfect. So well done is better than perfect every single time. Just get it done. Get it done and do it well, but it doesn't have to be perfect. The situation doesn't have to be perfect. The work doesn't have to be perfect. The job you do doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done, and it has to be done well. Distraction. This one. This is the one that gets me. If you get distracted easily, it can be very easy to procrastinate. Um, I look at it like this, and I've actually said this to former employers. It's not that I didn't do my job. I didn't get distracted by non-job things. I got distracted by other job things. And so if you've ever experienced a situation where you spend more time working on the things that you shouldn't be working on instead of what you should, this is procrastination by distraction. Okay. So as I promised, I do have a hybrid coaching program. The next one starts in October. It runs from the 23rd to December 4th. And the program goals are much aligned with what we've been talking about tonight. So, the first thing is planning. We are going to learn how to make a plan for goal success, and we're going to learn how to refine that plan as we work through those milestones. Then, we're going to learn how to get unstuck. We're going to learn how to get off autopilot so that we can start making those life changing decisions. We're going to look at some productivity. Okay. We're going to crush procrastination by getting ahead of it and learning how to stay productive. Okay. And then we're going to dig into lots of mindset work. We are going to learn how to become aware of our thoughts. We're going to learn how to reframe them and how to change them so that they stop getting in our way. Okay. So here's what's included in the program. You get a one-on-one 90-minute session with me. This is your intake session. We're going to dig deep into the areas of your life that you want to have goals, you want to achieve your goals. We are going to look at your problem areas. We're going to complete an assessment so we can figure out what your personal areas are. We're going to look at your growth mindset. This is the starting point for any growth or change. And we're going to see where you are there so that we know if we need to do some work there. And we're going to do a couple other assessments and we're going to really get started on your goal plan. Then from there, we're going to have 7 90-minute group sessions. This is those Monday nights starting October 23rd. Then you'll get 2 months of Rockavox accountability sessions. Let me tell you what this is really quick. So I mentioned the Panda Planner. This is made by Rocketbook, and there's an app that you can download to your phone that goes with the Rocketbook. And then Voxer is a messaging app. And so I have a system created where you use your Panda Planner, you snap a couple pictures, and it zips right off to my email inbox. And then you get a message the next day from me with your cheers, your congratulations, or your, hey, good job on what you did do. Let's do better next time accountability. You get 2 months access to me with regular Voxer access. This means you can actually reach out to me once a day, Monday through Friday, with a question and a follow-up. And I'll get back to you either the same day or the next day, depending upon what time you send that message. You will get an actual Rocketbook Panda Planner that will come to you in the mail, a physical book, brand new one. The color may vary. You might not get this pretty teal one. It comes in a couple other colors. You get the planner. It comes with a pen, and it also comes with a little cleaning cloth to wipe off your writing. You get all of your digital workbooks and activity sheets that you need to complete the program, and you get the Intentional Futurism Do-It-Yourself Starter Kit. And you also will get access to all of the session recordings from both your one-on-one as well as your all 7 of the group meetings. So again, this is going to start on October 23rd, but now through October 22nd, we will be doing our intake and goals. Those are your individual one-on-one meetings. On the 23rd, we'll do the first 30-day plan. Then we'll dig into some cognitive behavioral techniques and journaling. This is how we really dig into that mindset and learn how to reframe our beliefs. And then on the 6th, we dig into how to use that Panda Planner, and we start off with our accountability coaching. And then on November 13th, we start talking about indecision, and we look at our second 30-day plan. So this is the first time that we really revise our plan and see how things are going and if we need to evaluate or revise moving forward. On the 20th, we talk about procrastination and productivity. On the 27th, we do more work on motivation and mindset. And this is where we're going to really talk about that virtuous cycle I talked about from the motivation myth. Then on December 4th, our last night, we're going to figure out and we're going to just get ready for how are you going to do this yourself from here on out? How do you continue this plan and continue to work this plan? Okay, so the regular price for this program is $1,800. Tonight, I am offering an introductory discount of 50%, making the price $900. But since you're going to get the introductory or the do-it-yourself planner or do-it-yourself starter kit, and that comes with a coupon for $300, your final price tonight is $600. You can pay that upfront in one lump sum, or you can pay $350 at registration, and then $300 30 days later. So, how do you sign up? If you're ready to secure your spot now, you can go to 15minuteminedsetshift.com /YIF dot intro, or excuse me, dash intro dash checkout dash hybrid. But if you have questions or you're unsure and you want to discuss private coaching, you can schedule a totally free 15-minute consultation, and that is at this link here. That's 15minuteminedsetshift.com /IFDIY dash 15 dash free. I want to thank you all for taking time this evening to stop in. I really do appreciate it. Is there any questions from anybody watching live? No? Okay. Well, thank you and have a wonderful evening.